Hello, one and all. This is Wolfstar Gaming. It's Anton, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time we met the robot doctor, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I wonder how often he shows up in the story. Because I feel like he could be a very interesting character. He seems like one, anyway. And like I said last time, it's like he's gruff and a little rough around the edges, but he seems like a nice guy, an interesting guy. I just kind of want to hang out with him. It's like if there was like a social link kind of aspect to this game, I would definitely hang out with him. But anyway, we just got off the phone with Mizuka, and she provided us with information that has to do with the robot doctor. And he apparently has a granddaughter. And his granddaughter happens to be someone that we actually know. Anyway, moving on. My role is to just show her where the path lies. Whether she walks that path or not is entirely up to her. What must be fate, Akio? She seems really pumped up. Akio is eating lunch alone when I deliver the news to her. She immediately rises from her chair. Oh, that's why she's pumped up. Okay. Not really. I mean, I know the island is fairly big, but I imagine that this island news travels fast, so I feel like the community of this island knows everything that's going on. Maybe. I don't really know, but maybe. And I feel like a lot of people know someone who knows someone else. Like, it always ties back to them. And in this case, ties back to us. With Kaito having had class last year with Junna, who's apparently the robot doctor's granddaughter. So, I feel like that's not exactly a small world kind of instance. Especially if we all live in the same area, you know? Would he actually do that, though? I mean, if we get Junna to join the club, and she goes to her, grandpappy and being like, "Hey, Grandpa, will you give us a family discount to, get the necessary parts that they need?" I don't know. It's like, I feel that he might not do that. I mean, and actually it kind of begs the question, how close are Junna and her grandfather?
うまくやれば半額ただってことも
Not free, no. Definitely not free. The president is a lost cause. She's not even considering a scenario in which this goes bad. Yeah, I'm actually on Kaito's side this time. Which, yeah, you know how I feel about Kaito, so it's like, that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth in a way, agreeing with him.
あ、でもカイ、なんでそんなすごい情報を知ってるの?
About that.
風の噂を耳に挟んだんだよ。
I guess that's one way to put it.
へえ、全然知らなかった。ドクター大徳さんじゃ名前も全然違うし。
Well, that just means that, I had to think for a second here. It just means that, her grandfather is on her mother's side. It's like, of course they would have totally different family names.
とにかくこれは突撃あるのみだね。
Akio swiftly closes the lid on her half-eaten lunch and heads toward Daitoku-san's classroom next door. Oh, and now I'm Akiho. Okay. Daitoku Junna is in class 3-1, the one next to mine. Oh, just right next door. Okay. I stealthily peek into the classroom. It's like I kind of wish I had face cam so I could like do a visual of like how he would peek. Daitoku-san was one of my classmates when we were second years, so I know what she looks like. For some reason, I'm having trouble saying Daitoku. So it's like I keep saying it twice. She's short, baby-faced, and looks like a middle school boy. She doesn't look like a boy. Yes, she's short and baby-faced, but I don't think she looks like a middle school boy. She's in the karate club, but she's the only member in the entire school. Huh. Well, she's kind of in the same boat we're in, as we're the only members of the robot club. Daitoku-san's family runs a karate dojo. Oh. If I recall correctly, she's been a martial artist since she was little. That's cool. But due to regulations set by the Inter-High and Nationals, she can't enter any competitions solo. That's unfortunate. So I guess the school made the club on paper so that she can compete. Huh, interesting. I hear this type of workaround actually happens in other minor sports too, so her situation isn't so unique. Anyway, the same Daitoku-san is in the middle of chatting with her friends by the window.
Daitoku-san!
When I call out to her, she gives me an appropriately surprised look. Oh, this whole time I've been reading the narration in my normal voice. I should be reading this in my Akiho voice. What am I doing? When I call out to her, she gives me an appropriately surprised look. Nonetheless, I wave her over with as friendly an aura as I can project. She eventually hobbles over hesitantly. Does she not know Akiho super well, I wonder?
私かな?
Yes, you. She's so cute.
そうそう。 うちのこと覚えてる？
Maybe she just doesn't remember Akiho.
瀬宮さん。
Okay, never mind.
覚えててくれた。ありがとう。
I grabbed Daituku-san's hands out of pure joy. Her hands are smaller than mine, almost like a child's. Well, she is rather small, so... Even though she's a girl like me, my heart skips a beat at how adorable she is. She is rather adorable looking. I can't believe she knows karate.
実はね、大徳さんにちょっと頼みたいことがあって。
I imagine though, karate in Japan is actually pronounced karate, and not karate, as us Americans say it.
何かな？私にできることだといいんだけど。ロボクリニックのドク、藤田さんのこと知ってるよね？
Well, she should. He's her grandfather after all. That was kind of a funny little look. Daituku-san looks stunned. I think? She definitely looks stunned. Stunned and surprised.
親戚でしょ？あれ、違った？
After a moment's hesitation, Daituku-san slowly begins to speak.
親戚だけど。
But what? Oh.
だよね。間違いじゃなくてよかった。
Now she's shy.
それって藤田のおじいちゃんに聞いたの？
Not exactly.
うん、風の噂で。風の噂。で、大徳さんに頼みたいことっていうのは、特に身内価格でパーツの値段を負けてくれるようにお願いしてくれないかなって。身内価格？ほら、身内のよしみみたいなものってあるでしょ？大徳さんが頼めばきっとドクもコロッと OK すると思うんだ。
She would have to become part of the robot club to do that, though, wouldn't she?
お願い、この通りロボ部を助けると思って。ちょっと待って。
Yeah, it's like, hold your horses, Akio. You're getting a little too excited. When I put my hands together in prayer, Daituku-san grabs my arms, flustered. She takes me to a less crowded hallway. To have a little more of a private conversation? Is this a conversation that we really shouldn't be having, like, at school? For some reason?
急にそんなこと言われても困るよ。おじいちゃんに頼むだけでいいの。ダメ元のお願いだから値引きできなかったら諦めるし。
Well, at least she accepts that if it doesn't work, then, you know, that's that, as she says. It's like, gotta do the way you gotta do it. でも what, Junna?
ロボ部がピンチなんだ。ドクにパーツ代を払えないと部がなくなっちゃうの。だからお願い、スコール1本おごるか
ら。I imagine that little camera movement there was supposed to be like Akiho like bowing, you know? But like, so please help us bow.
その頭上げて瀬宮さん。
Just as I thought.
じゃあ引き受けてくれる？
Dr. Kusan fidgets like she wants to say something.
何？
Nani?
無理かも。
I really honestly think that she would have to be part of the robot club in order to really ask her grandfather to give us a family discount. Question is, though, would he actually do it? Can't say I was expecting that.
大徳さんの親戚のおじいちゃんに会いに行ってちょっと話してもらうだけなんだけど。
Daituku vigorously shakes her head back and forth.
私できない。
Oh, don't cry. Aww.
もしかして毒が怖いの？
Oh, he's afraid of her grandfather. Why are you afraid of him? It's like, you can talk to me. Talk to Akiho. Are you telling me his own granddaughter is this scared of him? It does make me wonder why she's scared of him. I mean, maybe we'll get a story perspective from Junna and, you know, see like her inner thoughts, her narration. It's like either that or, you know, she'll divulge information of why she's scared of her grandfather. And the only person I really see her divulging that to is Akiho right now. I mean, Doc is the stereotypically stubborn craftsman type, and his taste in music makes him seem like a punk. Yes, he's a punk. I mean, though I don't think he really is. I mean, he may dress, he may kind of dress as a punk, you know, with a leather jacket and the hat backwards, but that doesn't make him a punk. I think I can understand why Daituku-san is frightened by him.
私もう何年も藤田のおじいちゃんとは話してなくて。
In years? Like how many years?
だったらこれを機会に仲直りしちゃえばいいんだよ。
Yeah, Akiho, this is not the best way for the two of them to reconcile. No. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
別にいいかなって。
Yeah, it's like Junna's very hesitant about approaching her grandfather. Especially if she hasn't spoken to him in years. She would be very hesitant. And Akiho is pushing her to do this, and you know, that's not the way to do this.
なんで？仲直りしたいんだよね。
It's like he is her grandfather, but you're not listening to her, Akiho. Most people would want to patch things up in a situation like this. Not by going to his store and asking for a family discount. Not in that kind of situation, no. It would have to be something that would actually get them to meet on a more personal level. but I'm way off the mark. Daituku-san hangs her head low, as if she's ashamed. She does seem that way, doesn't she? Ashamed.
今は大会前だからあんまり集中乱したくなくて。
I can understand that. It's like, need to be on top of your game.
とにかくごめんなさい。あと今の私の話、藤田のおじいちゃんには言わないでね。
I hope Akiho doesn't. It's like that's just asking for trouble.
大徳さん、うちの話を聞いて。
When I try to stop Daituku-san from returning to her classroom, someone's hand lightly pushes me away. Let me guess, Kaito?
ちょっと背宮、純奈をつけ回すのやめなよ。怯えてるじゃん。
No. Daituku-san's friend. Easily elated one. Huh. That's very specific. Easily elated one?
そうだそうだ。ダメダメロボ部と関わったりなんかしたらろくなことにならなさそう。
Seems like a couple of Junna's friends decided to eavesdrop on us. They're the two girls who were chatting with Daituku-san earlier. They positioned themselves like they're guarding her. As they really should be in right now. It's like Akiho's not listening. She's being too forceful. She needs to back off.
純奈は次の週末に国体予選があるんだから、邪魔したら私らが許さないよ。
瀬宮さんはヤシオくんとイチャイチャしてなよ。
But go flirt with Kaito? It's like, how is Akiho going to respond to this?
キスしたいなら俺とゲームで勝負しなよ。みたいな。
What? If you want to kiss, you gotta beat you in a match? I'm a little confused. Oh, wait. No, I get it now. If you want to kiss, Junna's friend there was like imitating Kaito. If you beat me in a match of Kill Ballad, I'll give you a kiss. Something like that.
別に大徳さんをいじめようとかそんなつもりじゃないよ。
You're not trying to, but you are.
待ってみんな。
Daituku-san sticks her head out despite the tense situation. Then, with tears in her eyes, she looks my way. Like, don't cry. Oh.
ごめんね、瀬宮さん。私、瀬宮さんの頼み聞いてあげられないの。だから諦めてほしいの。
Like, Junna's very timid, isn't she? I mean, even though that she's into karate, just on a more personal level, she's very timid. At least that's how she's coming across as right now.
本当にごめんなさい。
ああ、瀬宮、純奈のこと泣かした。
Oh boy. Oh, and what are her friends going to do?
ひっどー。瀬宮さんひどいんだ。
I mean, she's not trying to be a bully, but, you know, she is being a little too forceful with her. How can I not back down after that? Yeah. It's like, it's time to leave, Akiho. I seriously didn't think she'd cry. I feel crazy guilty even though I didn't even do anything. You did enough, Akiho. Oh. Again with the loud music. First, got a couple of tips here. Nationals, short for National Athletic Meet. Every year they host ice skating and hockey in January, skiing in February, and track meets from September to October. You must be in high school or above to enter. They are split into 3 groups: adults, Youth A, juniors, seniors in high school, and Youth B, freshmen, sophomores in high school. Ice skating and hockey. So like I imagine when they mean ice skating, they mean like figure skating. And Inter-High, short for Interscholastic Athletic Meet. Also called Inter-High School Championships. Started in 1966, they use different prefectures as their avenue in August every year. Been around a long time. I know this is meant to be that we can't actually hear Akiho, but it's like when this arises that we can't actually hear her, I just can't help but just voice her for her. Hello, Doc! I swear I said that in the same way last time. And of course he doesn't hear her. Or maybe he does. I mean, the music may be super loud, but maybe he can actually hear her. Turn down the volume! There we go. It's like we need to talk to you. The sound of Akiho's heavy breathing replaces the loud music after Doc turns the volume down.
Doc, konnichiwa.
わーキャーとうるせえ小娘だな、ったく。
It's only because you have your music so loud. The music was clearly louder. Pretty sure I heard Akiho's internal screams for a sec. I'm with her this time. Listening to music that loud for so long would bust up anyone's ears. I wonder if Doc is feeling it. I mean, he could be partially deaf, and that's why he has the music so loud. No. Like, going to IRUO. Yeah, what was it? Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like he has, a hearing aid. Oh. I noticed last time when I was like editing, I noticed that there's this like purple hue around the geotags, and I'm like, yeah, I can select them, can't I? Aha! Geotag novice. Okay, I can actually click on them. Senomiya Akiho, born April 13th, 2001, age 18, blood type A, lives in Nakanoshimo, Mina Mitanecho, Kumage-gun, Kagoshima Central Tanegashima High General Course, Year 3, Class 2 Club, Robot Research Club. Oh man, now I feel like I should go back, go back through everything that I've already gone through and check these again. Actually bring them up and read what they say. From Robo Doctor. Availability varies depending on current workload. Huh, okay. And then Fujita Tatsuharu, Robot Doctor. To display a more detailed profile, please send a request for approval. What? Okay. It's like, please. It's like, to display a more detailed profile, please send a request to the game company to get a request for a detailed profile of the robot doctor. Okay. I can't believe I didn't figure that out earlier. Anyway,
で、金は用意できたのか。前も言ったが、一切負けるつもりはねえからな。
Li-ion polymer balance charger, IMAX B5. There's the plug and the connections. This is kind of a long panning shot.
用意したよ。来年のお年玉と来月と再来月のお小遣い前借りしたんだから。
She actually managed to get in advance? Wow. I can't believe she actually managed to convince her parents to give her an advance. Wow. I thought they wouldn't. In the end, her plan to get Daitaku Junna's help ended in failure. I guess they missed in localizing this that I guess they missed reversing the name order. And since neither I nor Michi pitched in, Akio paid for it all on her own. That's our president. I'm so proud of her. Are you proud of her, Kaito? Sometimes I wonder. Which brings us to the present, in which Akiho is regretfully staring at the cash she has pulled out of her wallet.
小川田のバッテリーと充電器、それと AC アダプタ、送料なしの税込みでちょうど8000だ。
Last time I accidentally called it an Odagawa. Of course I meant to say Ogawada. I don't know why I read it that way. Akiho reluctantly hands him 8 bills with Hideyo's face on them. Hideo? Doc tries to take the cash, but Akiho refuses to let go, keeping her fingers tightly pinched around the bills.
何のつもりだ？
せめて1000円だけ負けて。
1,000 yen discount? Yeah, he's not gonna do that. It's like he doesn't barter. That's the word I was looking for.
ふざけんな。プロを侮辱すんじゃねえぞ。
毒のごうつくばり。
Because that's the way he is. Akio's final Hail Mary to obtain a discount has no effect on Doc, as expected. Yeah. After snatching the cash away without an expression on his face, Doc hands the battery pack over to Akiho.
持ってきな。アフターサービスはタダだ。万に一つもねえだろうが。なんか不具合があったらいつでも言ってこい。
He might be a scary old rocker, but he's actually pretty good about this sort of thing.
それとテストボードもくれてやるよ。
Just give us one? That's generous. He pulls out a palm-sized circuit board from his drawer.
サーボの動作テストをすんだろ。
いいの？
こんなもん100円もかけずに作れるからな。ただしプラグは自分でつけろよ。電池も自分で用意しな。
They cost less than 100 yen to make. That's really cheap then, isn't it?
わざわざうちらのために作ってくれたんだ。
これがプロの仕事ってもんだ。わかったか？
We got it.
さすがプロ。この店で取引しててよかった。
What a pro! Says the person who just called him hard-headed. I mean, he is, though. It's like, he's just, like I said, you know, gruff and rough around the edges.
いやー、いい買い物だった。
And just like that, Akio's mood has improved. Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, robot clinic. Owner Tetsuharu Fujita. Fujita Tetsuharu, excuse me. Even provides the phone number. 0997 XX 9112. Oh man, I really wish I had checked that before. Man. She seems really happy with Doc's little bonus. I mean, she'll take what she can get, right?
じゃあ、あとはバラしたのを組み立て直すだけだね。
まだだよ。必殺技も考えなきゃ。
Nopity nope? That's a phrase.
まだ諦めてなかったの？
諦めるって何を？
必殺技。
もちろん実践で使えるようなのないかなっていつも考えてるんだけど、なかなか思いつかなくて。変形機構を前提にしたら今日中にひらめかなくちゃアウトだな。
Yeah, it's like she has, since we have that 2-week time crunch, it's like she has to, you know, get everything together and work on the robot when she can. Well, I guess she can do whatever she wants. Just as long as she doesn't shoot herself in the foot. Although I know for a fact she's gonna struggle over this, I can just picture her regretting her decision. I can already hear her yelling, "I should never have implemented such a stupid feature!" I'm having a hard time actually hearing her say this. The image of Akiho turning bright red and stomping over to me to ruffle up my hair is as clear as day. I mean, she clearly likes to do that to him. Just saying. Oh, Makiho again. Hi, Junna.
Oh,
I run into Daitoku-san as I exit the restroom.
えっと
Hi. Oh, she really is very shy and timid, isn't she? Daitoku-san fidgets as she tries to vanish from my line of sight. Yeah, as Akiho, I can't bring out a phone droid at all. She has one though, doesn't she? Why is she so scared of me? She's gotta be stronger than I am, considering she's in the karate club. This makes it look like I'm bullying her. Yeah, and let's not have a repeat performance of that. I quickly survey my surroundings in a panic. Luckily, Daitoku-san's two friends from the other day are nowhere to be found. Or they could be hiding. It's like they could be lurking in the shadows. Like Batman. Jeez, thank goodness. If they were around, they'd just turn this into a big fuss for no reason.
大徳さん、この前はごめんね。結局ドクにパーツ代を負けてもらうのは無理だったよ。いいねで買わされた。
I make sure my tone is as positive as possible. Good, good. What? What's wrong, Junna?
あ、いや、別に大徳さんを責めてるわけじゃなくて。
It's not her fault.
ドクとは長い付き合いだし、値段についてはうちも納得してるんだ。なんとか代金も払えたし。
Which is surprising.
それに今になって考えてみると、あのおじいちゃんって身内だろうと絶対に値下げなんてしてくれなさそうだよね。
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was thinking. It's like even with family, he would not give a discount.
そうなんだ。お役に立てなくてごめんね。いや、まさかあそこまで拒否られるとは。
I mean, I think I already said my piece about this, really. Like, she's afraid of her grandfather. She kind of can't help it, right? Does really make me wonder what happened.
ドクのこと苦手って言ってたよね。なんで？やっぱり怖いから？
And Akiho asks her what I want to know. And she's not comfortable divulging that information. At least not yet, anyway, right? Maybe later in the game? Daitoku-san remains silent. Ah, crap. Did I screw up again? I probably shouldn't have asked her that. It seems like a touchy subject for her. Why do I gotta be such a big dummy? Akiho, read the room! Yeah, let's... Oh. Yeah, what was the tip that said that? Thing. Oh, which one was that? It was. What was it? TPO. That was it. Yeah. TPO. Just because we were classmates last year doesn't mean Daitaku-san and I are particularly close. True. It's like, you can go through all of high school having the same classmates and not be particularly close to them. Of course, she'd never answer such a personal question. Yeah, and that's very personal. I desperately searched for a new topic to change the subject with.
ところで大徳さんって空手部だよね。
そうだけど。
I mentally fist bumped myself after successfully turning the conversation around. It's like, how do you fist bump yourself? Not very effectively.
実は今必殺技を開発中なんだけど、なんかアイデアくれないかな。いい案が浮かばなくて。
必殺技？
さあ、このぐらいの大きさの。
I illustrate to her the height of the 40 centimeter tall hobby robot with my hands. 40 centimeters tall. That's a fairly good size.
ロボットで今度東京の大会に出るんだ。そのロボット用の必殺技。
空手と何か関係あるの？
Yeah, it's like karate and robotics don't exactly mix. I proceed to give her a brief rundown of Robo 1's battle rules. I go over the one-on-one duel format in a 2-meter square ring and how ring outs and knockdowns decide the victor. You know, actually, now that I think of it, with like, I imagine robot anime has a lot of, you know, fighting involved. So I imagine that with robots like in the real world, if they were to fight each other, they would need to have some kind of programmer who knows how to like program that kind of information into the robot, right? And who better to come up with the fighting moves and whatnot than someone who is in the karate club. Yeah, I think I get it now.
重要なのはね、いかに相手をダウンさせるかなんだ。
Yeah, that's part of it.
へえ。
ね、空手で何か使えそうな技ってないかな。
その。
Daitaku-san starts fidgeting again, rubbing her thighs together. Rubbing her thighs together?
どう？
私、お手洗いに行きたいんだけど。
Oh, that's why she's rubbing her thighs together. She has to go to the bathroom. Aw.
すぐ済むからちょっとだけ考えてよ。ね。
It's like, Akihiko, let her go to the restroom first, and then she can come back and talk to you about this. It's like, let her go. It's like, if she has to go, she has to go. After pleading desperately, Daituku-san, strained face and all, nods gently.
例えば足払いとかになるのかな。
A leg sweep? That could work.
足払いできるほどうちらのロボって関節多くないんだ。
What does the robot have enough of to perform any karate moves? Does he have any at all? It can squat down, but in order to do a leg sweep, it'd need to extend a leg forward and then spin from that stance. Right. For that to happen, another joint, in other words, another servo motor, would need to be added. There's no time. Maybe if Junna joined the robot club, then she could help you with that.
ちなみに大徳さんの得意技って何？
I'm actually kind of curious of this too.
得意技？
そうそう、参考までに。
She has to think about it. This is a really slow ellipses. Thinking long and hard about it. She's really putting a lot of thought into this. Yes. Does she have that many moves under her belt? I imagine so. I mean, she's been doing it for how long? You know, since she was really little? I've been using robot anime as the standard for special moves, but maybe real martial artists don't use them? Possibly. Don't really know that. It's then that Daituku-san shrugs her shoulders and speaks with a bitter smile on her face.
ないかも。
Aw, there's a smile.
ない。
She's saying nothing, but with a smile on her face. And that smile is actually very adorable.
いやいや、さすがに一つくらいあるでしょう。自分の中で一番得意なのっていうか、実戦でよく使う技っていうか。
私あんまり強くないから技使う前にいつも負けちゃうの。
Oh. I mean, even though that she's been doing it for several years, she usually loses? That's kind of sad.
そうなの。
Daituku-san's reply is straight to the point. How am I supposed to react to that? I slap my left cheek a couple of times and take a breath. Slap your left cheek? And take a breath. That's such an odd thing to do.
だったら実戦用じゃなくていいや。あくまで大徳さんの中で得意としてる技でいいよ。
Daituku-san goes quiet in thought again, then tilts her head. I guess nothing's coming to mind. And she would have to really think about it, wouldn't she? Maybe asking Daituku-san wasn't such a good idea. No, with my thought process about the whole thing, this is actually not a bad question.
じゃあほら、あれ、型って言うんだっけ？それでもいい。型の中だとどんなのが一番得意？
型だとあえて言えばスーパーリンペイかな。
Suparinpei? What's a Suparinpei?
お、スーパー。
Supa? Like super? What? That's it.
それはうちの最もセクシーな単語の中の一つだよ。
Excuse me, what? Sexiest words list? She keeps a sexiest words list? Oh my god. Oh my lord. That's actually kind of funny. Wow. Alright.
でも瀬宮さんの想像してるスーパーとは意味が全然違って中国読みで108って
Oh, it's Chinese for 108. Huh. Okay. Wait a minute. Didn't I get a tip about that? Or was I... No. Could have sworn I read something about... something that was Chinese. I'm not gonna go through the tips though.
大徳さん、そのスーパーリンペイには相手をうまくダウンさせるような動作は含まれてる？
そうだな。こうでここでこうだから。
Daitoku-san starts to go over the kata sequence. She closes her eyes, slightly moving her body to her mind's image. This is gonna be good.
先にお手洗いに行ってきても?
Yeah, I'll let her go to the restroom, Akiho. It's like she's been talking with you for quite a while. I imagine she has to go really badly now. Crap, I held her up for way longer than I intended. Yeah. I apologized and let her go immediately. 3 minutes later, Daitoku-san exits the restroom and gasps when she notices me waiting outside. She just waited there. Well, I pick up where we left off.
じゃあ使えるかどうかはわからないけど前蹴りとか?
Just as a side note, when I was younger, I took a couple of karate classes. It was just like for a couple of summers when I was, I think I was like 9 or 10 at the time. I picked up a few things. I didn't stick with it for super long. I mean, like I said, it was only a couple of summers, so... but, you know, I learned a couple of things. Granted, it's been forever since I learned karate. Every now and then, I see my old sensei around town.
どんなのかちょっとやってみてくれるかな?
ここで?
Daitoku-san looks around with a troubled expression on her face. Since this corridor is away from the classrooms, foot traffic is low. Still, the bathroom area isn't quite deserted.
スカートだとちょっと.
Oh, yeah. You really should be wearing a, oh my god, it's been so long since I've done karate that I can't remember the, oh, gi! That's it. Gi. She needs to be wearing her gi.
大丈夫だって一瞬だけねこの通り.
After I beg, Daitoku-san sighs.
だからこんな感じで。
Without taking a stance, she swiftly kicks her left leg up into the air. While she looks insecure in a lot of ways, her kick is sharp and accurate. Or at least that's how it looks to me. I imagine it is. I mean, she's been doing it a long time, so yeah. I imagine she's doing a high kick with the description that Akiho has given. Plus, it even looked like her legs suddenly stretched out halfway through the kick. I'm genuinely impressed. And she's clapping. Meanwhile, Daijouku-san desperately holds down the hem of her skirt after it flips up during the kick. Oh. A little embarrassing, isn't it? Yeah.
ねえねえ、今途中から急に足が伸びなかった？
最初は膝を曲げたままで、膝をこの高さまで。
Yeah. Daijouku-san holds her hand up to the height of her belly.
開けたところで前に向かって蹴り出す感じなの。
2段階ってことか。
Yeah, it
ちょっと
is.
うちもやってみていい？見てて。
Okay, Akio, let's see how you can do it. I lower my hips and take a stance. That's an exclamation. I try to mimic what I just saw by raising my knee up and extending my leg, but I end up wobbling off balance. Whoops. Before I know it, I'm on my butt with my left leg still sticking out in front of me. I'm just picturing that in my head. Oh.
瀬ノ宮さん、見えちゃう。
What about her skirt? Daijouku-san rushes over and fixes my skirt before anybody can see. Is it like completely like above her waist or something? But I don't care about my skirt or if people can see up it. Huh. She must be very comfortable in her own skin then. I'm feeling inspired.
これだ。ほら見て、この形。
My butt is still firmly on the ground, my left leg extended and my right knee bent, maintaining balance.
これだよ。
Ah, jeez. Why doesn't she get it? Whatever. As long as I see it in my mind's eye, it'll be fine. I don't need to explain this to Daijouku-san right now. I've got to summarize my thoughts about... before school ends.
頑張るアクセルインパクトって技がある。
And there goes the school bell again. Gunvolt Excel Impact. Okay.
ん？急に何さ？
Oh, that was actually quite loud in my ear. That servo. Yesterday evening, I'm Kaito now. What am I doing? Yesterday evening, Akio suddenly said she came up with a special attack and went to the clinic to buy cheap parts. Today, she's finally supposed to get started rebuilding Perez, but as soon as I poke my head into the room, she talks.
もちろん回も知ってるよね。頑張れるの第1シーズン5巻収録の第13話に出てきたよ。
More than likely, he doesn't. It's like, I mean, he's said to her that he has absolutely zero interest in robot anime. Akio is linking the Prez's 24 servo motors to the test board and using the battery to check that they move. Whoop. The panning shots are so slow. A lot slower than I was expecting. And there's its head. But just completely taking it apart.
そうだっけ?
I have absolutely no recollection of what she's talking about. Yeah. She forced me to watch Gunvarel multiple times, but even I'm shocked at how little I remember. I'm not surprised that he's shocked at how little he remembers. It's like, it just shows that he wasn't paying attention to the show.
それに昨日大徳さんから教えてもらったスーパーリンペイの前切りを組み合わせたの。
You were able to do that.
スーパーリンペイって何?
No, you're saying it wrong, Kaito.
空手の型、強そうでしょ。
名前はね、実際に見たことないからわからないけど。
That's fair, actually.
その前切りからヒントを得たんだ。スライディングキックみたいなものかな。ポイントはこれ。
Akio shows me a small caster, not even 3 centimeters in diameter.
これを種子島新さんに取り付けるの。うちの考えならそんな大改造はいらないはず。すごくシンプルなプログラムをちょろっと加えるだけで一撃必殺の大技になるよ。これ見たらきっとお客さんはびっくりするぞ。何しろ防御不能、当たれば絶対にダウン確定だもん。
へえ、そんなにすごいの？
よし、全サーボのテスト終わり。
Those servo motors are surprisingly loud.
よかった、全部ちゃんと動いたよ。新しく買う必要はないみたい。
Well, that's good.
予算厳しい割には必殺技用のパーツは深く考えずに買っちゃうんだね。
Well, it's like she needed to get the necessary parts. Wouldn't you want to hold off on that until the servo motor tests were finished? Just in case anything needed replacing? Yeah, that's actually a good point. It's like, what if something was broken? It's like she would have to go back to the robot doctor and get another part. Does she have the money for any extra parts?
いや、実はちょっと順序間違えちゃって。
Maybe just a little bit.
でも結果オーライってことで。
So far, it looks like. Complete and total luck. Maybe just a little bit of luck.
ちなみにネジとかちゃんと保管してる？なくしたりしてない？
Hopefully she didn't lose any. The mini screws that keep the Prez together are small. Losing track of even one would be disastrous. And the whole thing could, like, fall apart. That would be bad. She'd finish putting Prez together only to find leftover screws. Or not have enough to finish it somehow. Yeah, you know.
へえ、カイってなんだかんだでこのオーバーホールのこと気になってる？
単なる老婆心だよ。 俺はアキちゃんのこと信用してないからね。
Can you show a little more support, Kaito?
それ笑いながら言うセリフかな。
He might think that it's a little bit of a joke.
まあ、赤っ端書かないようにスタートラインに立てるようにはしなよ。組み立てられずに終了なんてアキちゃんも悔しいでしょう。
After delivering my warning to her, I go back to focusing on Kill Ballad.
こんにゃろ
うわ、やめてくれよ。
Yeah, she ruffled his hair again. Yep, there we go. Akio ruffles up my hair yet again. And to make matters worse, she did it while still holding a servo motor. So my hair gets tangled up in the gears. Oh no! Oh. It's like, it's like if you have like long hair, that would be really bad. Of course, when it's all said and done, I make her remove the motor herself. Ooh, this track again. I really like this track. It's very pretty. Well, this actually seems like a good place to stop for now. So, okay, so we managed to get the parts we needed to get and start actually working on the Tanegashima machine. So we're making a little bit of headway. And thanks to Junna, we've now got a special move implemented into the Tanegashima machine. So that's at least a little bit of an advancement on their progress to make it to the Robo 1 event. So yeah, for now, we'll stop here and we'll pick things back up next time. So I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and subscribe to become part of the pack. And don't forget to claw that bell icon so you know when a new video comes out. And as always, everyone, have a good day or night, wherever you may be.